And we're live, second live stream of the day. People, Deluded, I'm back again. I hope everyone's well. I hope everyone's safe. I hope everyone's blessed. If you're on YouTube, smash the like button now. You've always been a quiet day where Arsenal's concerned, man. For some reason, we're still linked with Brian Mbeumo, even though he's moving ever closer to signing for Manchester United. We've been linked with a Greek Wonderkid. In the last 48 minutes or something like that to an hour, you would have seen Morgan RODGERS links. Apparently there's some changes in the backroom staff where Arsenal's concerned and plenty of other stuff. So yeah, smash the like button and all of that good stuff. Appreciative to you lot tuned in. And yeah, man, let's see what's going on where Arsenal are concerned, people. What's going on here, YouTube? What are you lot talking about? Okay, that's a bit weird, but okay. Don't know what that alert's about. But yeah, cracking on with stuff. Let me know your thoughts in relation to Morgan RODGERS, people. Arsenal have been linked with him before. Me personally, I take it with a pinch of salt. I think everybody's interested in good players, especially an English team with an English player. You know, Morgan RODGERS can play as a 10, can play out wide, can play as an 8. Stock is rising every minute he kicks a ball. You could see how, imagine him and Declan Rice in the 8 position. I don't want to get caught on specifics, but imagine him in Odegaard's role, and obviously he's got the stardust, so everybody's interested. Whether interest correlates to being prepared to pay the money that Aston Villa want is another thing, how that factors into the budget, because it's all well and safe saying Arsenal go out and buy RODGERS, but you still want a striker, still want a left winger, still probably need a central midfielder, which we've committed about 50 odd million at the very least for Zubimendi, need to sort out the goalkeeping situation, need to obviously sort out the defensive reinforcements, and then again you might be able to consider that. And obviously it factors into a budget where you look at potential contracts of players and whether they're coming into the club or not. And also why I take a pinch of salt with this Morgan RODGERS stuff as well is because it's silly season for one. Journalists, again, anything where Arsenal's concerned, it's Cesco, Kouras, so maybe they're throwing another name into the mix. There's no way of proofreading this, etc., etc. And every summer, especially as Aston Villa and Newcastle have come on the scene, what do you keep seeing? They have to sell players because of PSR, blah, blah, blah. So I think a bit of that is because of this, in which I would say the same probably for Newcastle before they consider selling the Gamaras, Tonali's, Isaacs, Gordons, whatever have you. There's probably several players Aston Villa will sell. Have they not? I don't know when it factors in to the PSR stuff, but did they not sell John Duran in January for stupid amount of money? They probably might sell Ollie Watkins as well. There's probably some other players in and around the squad. Onana's linked with a move to the Middle East. Emi Martinez, in my opinion, is going to leave Villa. So there's a lot of things they will do before they sell him. An ever-rising star and whatnot, man. When playing as a striker, Martinelli has 9 goals in 10 games in minutes, and Trossard has 10 goals and 8 assists in 18 games under Arteta. Need to play a 4-4-2 at times to get the best out of them. You might see a makeshift 4-4-2 of sorts if we were to get a Cesco with his height and everything, and obviously Havertz. My hot take is I reckon you see Havertz play a lot more in midfield, whether that's in the 8, which we tried, whether that's in Odegaard's position or some makeshift Bandulu position of sorts, man. So yeah. My problem is Arteta should have known about RODGERS and Palmer and snapped them up cheap. Now we have to pay dollar, not good. I mean, I've been wrong about many a player, but one player I wanted at our football club was Morgan RODGERS. You can actually see the video on my YouTube channel. Big up yourself, my guy Ishan, as well, because I did see the Matteo Taganozzi to Arsenal stuff. We're going to get into that, but I wanted Morgan RODGERS when he was at West Brom. For those who don't know, he came through West Brom's academy, obviously went to Manchester City and has found himself over there at Villa. I wanted him when he was, obviously, I knew he'd be a good player, but I couldn't see him starring in the Champions. Not anything to do with his ability. I just can't predict the future. I didn't know he'd be England international and playing in the Champions League and a key player for PSG. But he bullied us many years ago. We actually beat West Brom. I'm sure in my video, the review's out there. It's on my channel. I've got 10,000 videos, isn't it, really? So that's almost 1,000 videos for every year, because next year will be the 10-year anniversary of my channel. Big up you lot have been on the journey, but he battered us up. I think we won like 4-5-1. I can't remember. It's so many years ago, but he played well. He was strong. He was doing what he was doing now. I wanted him then. The problem is, as you lot know, in this day and age, yeah, whether it's RODGERS, Isaac, this one, that one, you need to get them before they end up where they're at now, because immediately English tax, rising star, people don't want to lose their key players. Whether he's worth it or not, you're looking at the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, maybe even 100, man. Tia said, I don't rate RODGERS. All I see is PMP and little tech. That's harsh. Why not? Nah, man. You're sounding like them outdated journalists, man. Nah, he's definitely more than that, man. For me, he's got the X factor. He's got the mentality. He's got that chip on his shoulder, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but we all like Henri, right? On top of Henri's humility and his ability, bro, he believed he's that guy. I know Saka's a good guy, but is there a correlation with Saka getting better and believing he's that guy? We need a couple. Rice believes he's that guy. We need a couple guys with that are like that. And he is Premier League, bro. He would be lit for us, man. He believes in himself, capable of magical moments. Arteta loves versatility, provides that. I'm on this. I'm so on signing Morgan Rogers. You lot wouldn't believe it. But again, let me know your thoughts. No one's right, no one's wrong. This is an all-inclusive community. Please make sure you're smashing the like button, turn on your notification bells, because you know the vids are always coming out. Call me, you're always here. That's why you're a mod. One love. DG, we need to sign Eze, Zubi, and Gyökeres. What makes you think we need Morgan Rogers? I think he's wavy. I'm not gonna lie. If you want Eze, you should want Morgan Rogers. They're not the same player, but they're quote unquote kind of the same player. I'm on Eze as well. I don't want to say Zubamendi's done, because who am I? I'm sitting here with you lot, but we're led to believe Zubamendi's done for all the fanfare about he's not going to sign for us and whatnot. Gyökeres or Cesco, I don't really care. As I've said before, I actually like Cesco. I'll be quite happy if we get Cesco. That being said, one thing that's going to go against him is naturally the club, rightly or wrongly, whether we're happy with everything or not, we've been flirting with greatness. Greatness being quarterfinals of the champs, then the semis. Obviously, we all know this is finishing seconds a false equivalent, because the table don't lie, but it doesn't necessarily tell the truth. You know, we're in that weird spot where Liverpool were well ahead. We drew ourselves into a top 4 race, but we're not better than Liverpool. We're better than the rest. We're kind of there, but if we just look at it in short, the last 3 years we've been second, so we're flirting with it. Fans are impatient. I know fans. No, I think most balanced Arsenal fans or football fans, nobody believes they're entitled to win trophies, and it's a God-given right. But it's fair to say we've got a good squad, we've got a decent manager, we've been flirting with it. You know, it's not. You could say we need wholesale changes, but we've been flirting with it, so it's fair to ask why can't we get over the line type of thing. And I think those are the things that will go against if you were to sign a Cesco, a Jamie Gittins. I know he's a bit more rounded, but a Nico Williams in that. Fans might allow these players, because most logical fans can see, yo, these men are developing and whatnot, but the backdrop of the team is winning now. That's why, as much as I'll be happy with Cesco, and I know there's a reality where you sign Cesco, you sign Gyökeres, they both flop or they both do well type of thing. But Gyökeres goes against the grain. What you see is what you get from Gyökeres. They say Cesco would be a bit more expensive. So you could caveat that and say the club are believing in somebody. They really believe in him if they're willing to commit more to him, and he's younger. But Gyökeres, what you see is what you get. He's 26, 27. He knows his job. He's going to get better, but you're not going to see too much dramatic improvement. We're in that trap where we're always thinking about players of tomorrow. So I would be all on the Gyökeres thing. But again, the club needed to win yesterday. So you can imagine with every win, loss or draw, the talking points over the 38 game week in the Premier League, you factor in all the other competitions. We need to grab silverware. You know, I know a lot of people say at this moment in time, oh, a trophy's a trophy, in which they're right. But let's be honest, fans are hypocritical. If we only win a league cup or an FA Cup, it's not the big ears, isn't it? We need to put our best foot forward. I need to go into next season feeling like we've added the quality and upgraded our starting 11, and we have the depth, and we're really trying to make a proper go of it. We half-stepped last year, man, if I'm honest with you. Appreciate you, T. Therefore, keep putting in the work. Now, Liverpool in for Cesco. United looking odds-on favourite for Gyökeres. You worry, DG? I try not to worry about things I can't control. Of course, it puts a spanner in the works. You're thinking, yo, who the hell are we going to sign? But and I'm not saying this to gas up Berto. I do think as a club, we have an inability to pivot. Like, we've been in that trap before. Sometimes it's worked, sometimes it hasn't, where we're linked with a bunch of players. Then it's like we're linked with one. If we don't get him, there's no one on the market, which is great. But again, like we know, if you need a striker and you don't get your target, you can't bring we tried off the bench to help us. So it needs to get done, man. And one thing I will give Berto credit, again, never had a conversation with him, don't know what's going on there, but it feels like there is an ability to pivot. It feels like I don't know, but it feels like there's several deals being lined up and we're ready to move in either direction. So I mean, everybody wants good players. We all know the striker market. If you've got a decent striker, whether that's Watkins, Gyökeres, Hugo Ekitiko, Cesco, different ages, profiles. But if you've got one decent striker, you're already winning in today's day and age, because a premium is being spent. I know obviously a team can sign more than one striker, but Gyökeres can only go to one club. Cesco can only go to one club. Liverpool, they're the league winners. And I think at all of these clubs, Chelsea included, if you're a cold-hearted number 9, you should believe you could, if you're a proper number 9, like Cesco, Gyökeres, Hugo Katiko, you should believe you could start for all of these teams. So, yeah, sell your project, do what you want. Liverpool have won the league. I know United are in the pits, but it's still Man United. Chelsea got a project. I don't think we're the best thing since sliced bread. I don't think we're as worse as people make out. We've got a project we could sell. If you try for Gyökeres and he says no, all right. If you say try for Cesco and he says no, all right, cool. As I keep saying, just make sure when that window, ideally before preseason, but when that window closes, I don't want to hear we tried. Make sure I see a striker. I'm not saying that these guys will make the difference, but you know, we've been linked with a bunch of strikers, the Osimhens, the Gyökeres, the Cescos, the Isaacs, the Watkins. You get where I'm going. Even that German you as well, who didn't have the best of games yesterday, man. Apparently, Gyökeres wants to go United. I mean, his brethren, Amarin's there. Fair enough, do your thing, man. We need RODGERS. We have 3 midfielders on the books, 4 if you had Partey. I think ironically, yeah, I think next season we bring in another midfielder. We need to bring in Zubimendi now, but I think for seasons we need another midfielder. I think we need midfielders. Of course, you got Max Dowman coming through. You got Wanyeri, who's probably going to play there. You got Miles Lewis-Skelly doing his thing at left back, but we all would love to see him in midfield. Rice is doing his thing. I'm not saying this will be the case, but you've got Odegaard, who you could maybe play around with. On paper, you've got Fabio Vieira. On paper, Thomas Partey is actually going, but the papers, see what I did there, smash the like button, are linking us with him getting a renewal. But that being said, I'm with you. I think we need a midfielder now. I just want to see different options, man. I want us to, you could run a Partey and Zubimendi. You can run, Partey, Rice, and Odegaard. Again, I don't know if we're going to get RODGERS, but RODGERS and Rice as dynamic 8s. We need a bit of mix and blending, if I'm honest, because I don't think Arteta has that luxury, but I want him to have the ingredients. Whether he wants to cook up another dish is down to you, and we'll praise and critique you where due. Unpopular opinion, yeah, I think it's a double-edged sword because we've established ourselves and we've got to this point. Teams have clocked us in it. You know the low blocks. You know Rice is going to run in behind. You know what we're doing on the left. You know what we're doing on the right. And I'm not saying deviate away from that. Obviously, evolve it, tweak it. But I just feel we need to be able to pivot when teams have clocked that. All right, cool. Traditional fullbacks, traditional wingers, different profiles in midfield, 2 strikers, no striker. You don't get where I'm going for devil's advocate purposes, man. We're going to learn about him. I might do a video on him, but, if he can find emerging talents, Italian like Berta, Juventus as well, big club. Berta was at Atletico. It's screaming serious to me. And again, we need that. As much as I want players right now, we need to have that ability of outsmarting the market. Even if we grab a player, they're not quite good enough for our first team, but we got them for 10 million. People want to buy them for 40. That gets put back in the cash reserves. So yeah, man. Eze, RODGERS, Hido, who's that? Another goalkeeper, Gyökeres and Zubi. That's a great window. That's the window I want to see. Do you rate Sporting's playmaker Trincao? I think he's a good player, but I think he's a bit too lightweight for me, a bit too hot and cold for me. Obviously, great technical level, decent player, but it's not for me, man. It's not really a needle mover, if that makes sense. Love for the super chat, my boy. Out Nori to City. What you saying on that? It's easy being a City fan, innit? And they're just, what can I say? They're doing madness. You saw what they done in January. You see what they're doing, and in the process of doing, they're getting Rangers, El Nori, Cherky. There's probably a couple of more. They're replenishing the squad, and I don't know how long Pep's going to stay there, but assuming Pep stayed for at least a year or two, there's a fantastic mix of players to be able to blend with, really and truly. And I think City have probably needed to replenish a lot sooner rather than later, but it's scary, isn't it? Like, it's scary. Does that mean Guardiola's going to play more like a centre-half? You're going to see Guardiola and Diaz, my man El Nori, right back. I don't know who City even put there, man. I know they've been playing Matheus Nunes. But we knew it. City are not going to lie down. They've had great periods since they've got that money and since Pep's come in. Everything Pep went through last season, he's going to hit back. I've said this before, and I want to be wrong. Obviously, I want Arsenal to win, but I think he's going to do some nasty things to this Premier League next season, man. Let's just blow the budget on Rodrigo. I hear it by now, man. Let's just set up some Bright House payments. Again, we're moving bare slow in the market. It is annoying, and I will give the club the luxury. It is only the 5th of June. That being said, I understand it with January and last summer. So, yeah, man, hopefully we got things done, man. Maybe it's the calm before the storm. My man said even Bonnie Blue is moving up to 2,000 men. We only need 5. I don't know who Bunny Blue is, but that sounds like a very funny joke. Roger's a baller, bro. Baller, bro. Big up yourself as well, Charlie. Part of the furniture, man. Is what it is. Shane, big up yourself because you're always in my comments as well, not just my live stream. Appreciate you. You know where it is, the other fans and the constant "what are you doing" questions. We're looking at Spurs. That's the thing. Like me, I try not to watch next teams and what they're doing, but when you put your fan cap on, yeah, you can't. You can't not be jealous, innit? You're seeing City with more money than sense. To be fair, Chelsea signing players don't move me anymore because they even forget a lot of their signings. And I just think it's frustration, man. Away from like Verts and United are in the pits. They're signing Mbuemo and Cunha. Mbuemo is going to break my heart to slander you because I wanted you at Arsenal, right? So I think when you're watching what other teams are doing, naturally you're going to get a bit jealous as well. And also the frustration from the last two transfer windows, the frustration from having some good moments in the season, but not really going the distance, flirting with it, question marks over the players, the management, the cronkies. It's like the kettle's boiling, in it, and it's just angry, like. But you get us some signings. You know how fickle fans are, man. Myself included. You know, we're like, what's going on? We wake up tomorrow, we sign bare players, we're happy, innit? It's all about the accounting. If we get all the deals done by pre-season, that's all I care about. Yeah, man, because I do think there is a correlation with when we've got signings in early, they've kind of banged it, whether they've gone the distance or not. You know, you look at when we signed Gabriel Jesus. I feel like there was 3 players we signed that window, but I remember Gabriel Jesus came in early. He was in pre-season tours. Zinchenko basically was done for pre-season because he linked up on that tour. The summer we got Timber, Raya, and Rice as well. I want to see that. Ideally, you want that. I'll throw another extension and say I'll give the club until the end of the window. But if you don't do who am I? I'm just a fan. But if I see the end of the window arrive and you ain't done everything that's required, you lot have told me what's going on. Because I personally think the club as well. But I think, if I'm honest, last summer, Edu and Arteta, I think there was too many chefs spoiling the pot. He fucked up. I more look at the club like those above Arteta for January. And January, I'm not going to say January was more disappointing than the summer because obviously it's adjusted. But it was for me because you told me you lot are cool with Champions League. You can see your players are ran into the ground. We're not fortune tellers, but you could predict that, the minute that window closed, there's going to be more injuries. You lot told me you was cool with top 4. That's how I genuinely feel about those above Arteta and the players. You told me you was just cool with top 4 in January. I always give the example because Arteta, he's not got everything right. He was clearly begging for signings in January, right? Let's just assume, for argument's sake, that Arteta was deluded. I know, smash the like button and said, "Nah, I don't want no one in January." If your owners were serious, like proper serious about, you know what? Because in January, Liverpool were in front. But we might have been able to claw it back and salvage what we can salvage. They might say, yeah, Arteta, dead that. We're getting you what you need. Don't forget, Watkins was the guy that, ironically, another Villa player, that we was linked with in the summer. Apologies, in January. He was offered to us. We didn't go searching for him, regardless of what was going on in the striker market. And if you remember, we only kicked into gear when Gabriel Jesus got injured. Because remember, Saka, it was all still kind of rosy. When Jesus got his knock, that's when everyone was like, oh, shit, we're in trouble here, aren't we? So, yeah, man, the links for Semenyo and Sane scare me. I'm not going to lie, I'm having Sane over Semenyo. I know the wages that Sane would probably be on would be a lot more than Semenyo. And I think Semenyo is decent. Ironically, sometimes Bournemouth are so good as a team. Big up Areola. But sometimes you see them go long and Semenyo wins headers and that. I know that's one thing that Arteta likes. Just how much they're going to ask for Semenyo. And I feel sorry for Bournemouth because... you've lost Howson, who we tried to get. He's gone to Madrid. That Zabani guy's being linked to PSG, and he probably goes over there. I don't know if Kluivert's got interest, and I don't know would you want to let Semenyo go? It's peak, really. So, yeah, the links scare me, man, but it provides us with talking points at the very least, man. If nothing more, man. If nothing more, smash the like button, people. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep the thoughts coming. Morgan Rogers is a baller. Big up Hyper, man. Chelsea already offered money plus a player for Kouras there in for a top goalkeeper and in for a Katike moving proper. A lot of these signings that everybody signing, us included, they're not going to bang, but it's all about the intention, man. DG in the chat, who are you having between Xavi Simons and Morgan Rogers? Morgan Rogers. I fuck with Xavi Simons heavy. I think he's quality, but naturally I'm watching Morgan Rogers more. And I do think you could say Morgan Rogers, but I think with Xavi Simons, I do think for someone that gasses you, including myself, I think you flatter to deceive a lot of the time. Like, you're capable of magic moments and that, but I don't see it enough for the P's that they're gonna ask for. I'm sick of the Arsenal board. Effing sign the players. What are they waiting for? Chill, tranquillo, man. Next season, it's on Dusty Trophy Cabinet. All right, big up Zims, man. Make sure you're following him on Twitch and YouTube. Guy does great FM content. Second best FM streamer after me, man. You know, I'll mash him up if we ever played each other. But yeah, big him up. He supports the shit team, but he knows good content creators. That's my guy, man. Smash the likes, man. So yeah, man. Appreciate you for another super chat. Wolves got 100 million to spend after Cunha and El Nouri. It's true. And to be honest, if you're them, obviously the scouting dynamics have changed. You'd probably feel a bit more comfortable if you were Brentford or Brighton, because I don't think Brentford, they might in hindsight, but I don't think once last season did I hear anything around Brentford about how they miss Ivan Toney. But if you're Wolves, you naturally knew Cunha was going to leave when you signed that new deal. You know, it was clearly designed of, you're not going to leave like through the back door like a little rat in the highway, or a rat if you turned on the light in January where the team's fighting relegation. Help us stay in the league, sign this new deal, release clause, we get bread. So you knew from January he's cutting. El Nouri, for, you know, he's been someone on the lips of bigger teams for a while. You knew these guys were going to cut. Naturally, if you're future proofing, you're going to be looking for replacements. It's like us. Even if Magalhaes signs a new deal, the man's 27, 28. And he's been linked with Saudi moves. He might want to leave. We need to be able to pivot. Saliba, we know it's going to happen one day, innit? We know he's going to go to Real Madrid. Even if he wins everything here, we know he's going to. So we need to be looking. This exaggeration, and it's a bit different because he's English, but Saka the same. So naturally, 100 million. But then again, as we know, if whoever Wolves are going to buy, like this mystery replacement left back, this mystery replacement Wingo, whatever you want to refer to Cunha, if their replacements already at whatever club you're negotiating with, and Wolves come in for you, naturally, this is the belly of the beast. If I'm whatever club and Wolves are coming for my left back and left winger as replacements, I'm going to say, right, normally I'd charge 20 million. Here, what, 45? I know you got money because you got the money that you got from these sales, plus anything else you do, plus whatever budget you would have had regardless of that. So, yeah, man, it's interesting. Big up my Jamaican tugs, man. Come on, shout Dominica as well, man. Get Malik Tillman. Doing all right. You know what? Since he was at Bayern Munich, not really hit the heights, but decent player. Semenyo for 50 million. We can get Williams or Lookman for that. Save money. They are both better. You know, Semenyo, big up yourself. But I hear you with that. Like, if they're saying 30 million, which I've got a tab somewhere, 30 million for Lookman, I'd rather do that than the Semenyo thing, man. If I'm honest. Henry managed to track back and put defensive work in. These new strikers ain't used to it. What are you referring to there, my boy? Also, where Jesus got injured, tracking all the way back, high tempo edge of our box, doing too much. I hear that, but injuries can happen, man. Like it can happen. Injuries can happen at any time. We just need to make sure we have the depth. We see man get, well, we ain't seen it, but man have been injured in training. Dons have been injured, you know, unfortunately with Jesus tracking back and twisting. You know, it's an FA Cup game. It's a knockout fixture. Man's putting in the shift. I ain't got no issue with that. It's like, because when, like, I can't get at them. What if, God forbid, then hope it's not, like, happy it's not the case, but PSG, we saw their guys against Inter tracking back. God forbid, but what if the same thing happened with Osman Dembele? I think generally, tactically, there might be something for Arteta to review, letting your attacking players stay in attacking areas and maybe do less defending, but there's still going to be elements of that, though, man. Sacking him would just be to get a reaction to falling short. Malik Fofana's cold, bro. See, them kind of guys, depending on what Leon wants, I'm on them kind of project players, man. Very talented. I didn't miss your super chat, my boy. Unless you sent another one. You sent two, I answered them. Come on, man. I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't do that to you, man. Come on, man. It's all about... Oh, sorry. Seen that already, my dude. Junior, I'm blessed, man. I hope you're doing well and safe. Looks like Ter Stegen will be available on the free. Would you take him as a number 2? He's not going to want to be number 2, though. That's probably why he's going to get frozen out over there at Barca. I mean, I'm not watching Barca week in, week out, but it's a bit mad, isn't it? Like Hansi Flick, who's, you know, doing great things. And again, I know it's not like this, but I would feel so betrayed if I was Ter Stegen. Like, obviously, football's football and the manager's job's on the line. Such is life. But, bro, we're both German. You're snaking me. It's a World Cup year. You're doing me like this. I'm surprised Chelsea ain't gone in for Ter Stegen. They're going for the Magan, man. If you had to choose between Neto on loan and Calhan coming back, who would you rather as the number 2? Neto, man. I don't rate both of them, if I'm honest, but Neto, man. I think for Calhan, you need to go play football, whether that's on loan or permanently. Like, go play football, bro. Is that you or us lagging? Am I lagging? Hello? Let me put the Ethernet cable. Hello, chair. Take control. I hope I'm not lagging. YouTube trying to mess up what we got. Well, this is all good. Always having a good show. No one helping me. You're good to me. You're getting lags. Apologies, man. The internet don't want us to shine, boys and girls. Well gone. That was YouTube dropping out. Okay, the lag is fine. Apologies on YouTube's behalf. Apologies, man. The show must continue. Rodgers is a maverick type player. He isn't scared to do his thing when the game is still. He changes the game. And we need a couple man like that, man. Like, who have we really got capable of magic moments? I think two. Probably it's just Rice and Saka. Yeah, 1 year he can do a thing. Miles Lewis Skelly's had 1-2 moments. Sometimes you might get a Magalhaes unlikely hero, but we don't have enough of those, man. We don't have enough, bro. I don't know what you're saying there. That seems like you're trying to get me to say madness. The stream is settled all good now. Appreciate that. Rodgers is essentially Skelly in midfield. Two different kind of players in midfield, if I'm honest. We need that real kid from Liverpool. Liverpool have a star in that, you know. For the under, it was a disappointing campaign for the under. Max Dowman was there and Jake Porter. It was a disappointing campaign for the under 17s, but that real guy is going to be a player. He still needs to learn to keep it simple and that, because I still think he's at that stage where, yeah, I'm a baller, I can take everybody on and all of that. But you'd expect that of a 16, 17-year-old. And I think he was at Southampton. He's at Lyon now. I think his name's Alejandro Rodriguez, striker. I'm on signing him. Whether he makes it at Arsenal or not, if Lyon want to give us a deal, he can progress, man. We have players with magic. The manager just stops them. I hear that, and I think the manager has to give and take, but Jet next door, that's not true, though, man. How many players got magic, like, in our squad? Like, clutch moments, magic. It's only, well, if I'm saying clutch, I think it's only really Saka, Rice, and with the set pieces and that, probably Magalhaes. I might have missed out one. Magic, I know he didn't do it last year, but I would say the same names I've said before, plus an Odegaard. Obviously, Martinelli don't do it too much, but he's a big game player. Look at the games he's thinking in. I'm always going to say that. Trossard now and again can do a thing. We ain't really got that. Bro, D&D special powers. That you is, yeah, man. Bring him. Raya, Gabriel, Rice, Saka. Big up Raya, but and big up not to negate Raya, because I was actually watching highlights from his, you know, everybody knows Raya's done madness from us. And like you said, Dan, he's got us out of jail and all of that. He's done madness. That's what I mean. I was watching his highlights from last season. Even some of the saves, he was doing madness. He's been doing madness. But are we really saying goalie magic moments? Big him up. And I hear you. It's not wrong. But are we really including that, though? Really? Dowman, but he's 15, 16, man. He's not in the immediate first team kind of thing, man. Rodgers is so good. One of the players who impressed me alongside Tijani Reinders, baller, man. DG, did you catch the pictures of Havertz looking swell? Yeah, Havertz is looking, yeah, but he was looking kind of bolo when he came back, anyways. And we've been there before, man. When I'd see players going gym, getting wham, just make sure you do the job on the pitch. I'd say the only thing with when I see people in the gym, yeah, the only time I thought raw is actually a player who started doing that when they retired, Mesut Ozil. Like, obviously Ozil's bolo now. I thought, why weren't you doing that when you was in England, bro? Lookman, Matoma, or Eze. Sorry, Lookman, Matoma, or Eze. Gyökeres and a midfielder. Rodgers. Thoughts, DG? What do you mean? I'm having Lookman. I wouldn't be against Matoma, but I think that one there's paper talk. Eze, bring him in tomorrow, even though it seems like he's getting Spurs. Gyökeres, we all want Gyökeres in it. And I've been gassing up Rodgers for the best part of half an hour now, man. In a league with Alisson, you're grabbing back-to-back Golden Gloves. No, I'm giving Raya his dues, but I'm saying magic moments. I can't really give that to my goalie, because for me, the magic moment, I guess it is magic moments. If a defender clears it off a line, I'm going to say that. But come on, man. You know, when we're talking about magic moments, it's the attackers. Yeah, Bournemouth signed that French youth. He's cold. Going to take time, but he's cold. Hold me, I trust in Kai if things don't go well in the window. I'm past the point of getting at the players. You, man, have assembled this squad. Big up yourself, Kian, because you was here with a gal. Yes, we had Saka, Saliba, Martinelli, Tini. That's left from before. Arteta, also Emi as goalkeeper. You signed 30+ players around these, and you still need at least 5 players. Just sack this. I'm not going to say that word, please, finally. What do you think about Mike McGann to Chelsea for 25 million? Cold, bro. Dan, I think you're misunderstanding my point, bro, but I hear that. I think McGann's cold. I think he's quality. I think United should be. I know it's different, but I think United should be more aggressive on that than Chelsea. Both have shit keepers, man, which makes you appreciate Raya, man. I'll take Gyökeres, Lookman, and Morgan Rogers, Raphael. I don't buy the Raphael thing. My thing is, why is Kai getting swole like that? Is man trying to be some powerhouse striker? I don't know, man. I'm a big fan of anyone that wants to improve themselves. Can we get Nelly to swole up a bit? I think for Martinelli, he needs to stop playing like this and play like this. He plays like this, like he's Ray Charles. But I mean, at 23, 24, I'm not saying he won't have seasons where he's scoring goals and doing whatever, but is it a thing where this is who Martinelli is? Torres got wham after football too. Yeah, he did. But then it's too late. Well, to be fair, Torres weren't weak. Torres was a bit of a bully. And he did get a bit fat, I would say, that last 6 months at Liverpool before he went to Chelsea. Raphael was another Zaha, flat chat bully. DG, serious question. If we made a profit last window, surely we spent less than Liverpool last window, which means we should be able to buy most of the world's talents in context, emphasis on context. Well, on one hand, we always hear, oh, we're close to PSR, and then we always hear that we've got P's to spend. I think any restrictions on our ability to spend and buy star players, it's got to be us, innit? Like, it can't be because we can't. Like, we're not, like, Newcastle could spend money, but they're going to get in trouble. Villa are going to spend money, but they're going to get in trouble. We've clearly got some flexibility, man. Give up on that guy. I can see why most academies just rejected him. In life, that's why you have to keep going, innit, man? I'll never give up on Martinelli. He's a big game player. Whatever you lot say, who bagged against Liverpool, who bagged against Chelsea, and who emptied the Real Madrid fans out. I'll never give up on him. That being said, it's a squad player thing. A part of me does wonder, though, that if Martinelli was at Liverpool, you'd be a lot better because they're more open on the transitions and whatnot. Martinelli, unfortunately, our system, you got to think a lot. And I think Martinelli's not good when you have to think. And again, that's why I accept him for what he is. Because if you're 24 and I'm saying that, I'm still talking about you picking up your head, decision making, all of these kind of things. It's not making sense. For me, Martinelli's a rotationary option. And unless he wakes up one day, squad player, you can help us in that regards. Goosebumps, really, Arsenal are very quiet. Something is going on. Could be the calm before the storm. And it's one, I must admit, man, like, to us, obviously, I think most fans, like, we can understand the window's just open, calm down, but we're a bit nervous. It's one where you genuinely wish you knew Berta and you knew Arteta so that you could just be like, all right, cool. Because I hope Berta somewhere, well, Berta ain't got time to have no barbecues or whatnot. He's got bare business to do. But I hope Berta and Arteta are somewhere billing it, having a bit of Hennessy, just like, yeah, all these fans are crying. Watch when we announce this. I'm never giving up on him. He works hard on the press. It's just that finishing. But that's what's going to stop Martinelli. Like, and as much as I love Martinelli, once we start talking about, and I say this all the time for all players, once we start talking about he works hard, he puts in a shift, it's scary, dangerous territory to be getting into. Liverpool's wages were significantly higher, I believe, not fact-checked, than us. You reckon? I don't think so, you know. Than us. I don't know really, but, you know, you've got Gabriel Jesus on major paper, Havertz on something decent, you know, and until obviously they're about to leave, Tierney's on something decent, Nelson's on something decent, Partey's on something decent, etc., etc. I'm not sure if I think our wages must be higher than Liverpool's. I don't know though, because I don't, you know, you got Salah, you got Van Dijk. I don't know how much Trent was on until he left and all the others. What hurts me as an Arsenal fan is our bench should be Martinelli, Odegaard, Havertz, Marino. Not having these guys as starters still. We stopped progressing 2 seasons ago. Damn. I think Lookman to Arsenal would be class. Let Odegaard drop into the 8. Let Lookman have the 10. Oh, I hear it, but I don't really want to see that on a consistent basis. I think Martinelli needs to be a striker. I must admit, I've kind of given up on the Martinelli striker thing. Like, my agenda came back alive after the Liverpool game, but in the modern day where you got to do all the other stuff, I think his intelligence needs to improve, man. I've got a lot of time for Martinelli. You can see why the team does as well. He's a good youth, works hard, does his defensive shift. As someone said, it's just ultimately it's what's going to take you to the next level of your decision making. When to pass, when to shoot, when to get your head up, when to cross, where to pass, what angles of the foot to shoot with, and all of these things. And I'm not an idiot. I think all of these players are trying to work on it, but we ain't seen it in it. So it's like, do I accept you for what you are now rather than what you could be? Because there was a point, I'm shameless, I was seeing not quite because the intelligence was better, but there was a point I was thinking, oh, could we get a poor man's poor man's hybrid of Luis Suarez and Alexis Sanchez? I know people. I'm very biased to Martinelli, man. By the way, the fact Berta has to deal with so many high-profile contract renewals is deep. Plus, having to make this Arsenal's best window ever. He signed up to this, but that's massive pressure. It's true. I don't think he's going to be able to do everything, though, man. I don't think he's going to be able to do everything. But we need to get the core business done, man. Who would you want as a Partey replacement? Also, Partey leaving feelings like Xhaka leaving, buckle your seatbelts for next season. I mean, if Partey wants to leave, you can leave, innit? But it would be annoying because, like, we're talking about we need a striker, we need a winger, need a couple goalies, need a left back, need to get rid of outgoings, need to renew some deals. It's another thing for Berta to worry about. And obviously, the club can't be stupid. If you're in talks with Partey about a new deal at this late in the day, best case scenario is obviously that he signs one. Worst case is that he cuts. So you have to know who you're signing, but it's another thing to do. I quite like that Ogame guy of Sevilla, if I'm honest with you. And if Sevilla like Lokonga, is there, you know, how much money is Lokonga knocking off that price tag? Martinelli is a Brazilian, Rashford, never that. Never that. I wish all the players had Nelly's work rating attitude, though, especially when we're struggling. He's the only one that stays on game. I hear it, man. Oh, it's interesting. When you start saying he works hard, that's when you need to realize he needs to be moved on. You can have a couple of them, but boy, the so-called list buzzword, that list is long. Therefore, agree, DG. Unai gave Martinelli more minutes as a striker than Arteta has in 5 years, and the ratio is better than him for sure. I hear that. But Arteta's had longer to work with than Emre with Martinelli, and it's adjusted. But Martinelli, you got your Brazil call up off working with Arteta. You had your best standout season that some fans, not me as much as I love him, are clinging on to, where you got 15 goals. I mean, if he really falls off a cliff, then Saudi is calling, but he hasn't. I mean, if you're Martinelli, you're not gonna go. I don't know, because there's serious paper to be earned, but you're not gonna go Saudi soon. And it's all, I'm not saying anyone's saying this year, but I think some fans need to understand that, bro, that certain things are not going to happen. It's all fun and games saying sell Trossard, and that could happen, but clearly the club are saying new deal. I'm not saying Arteta should stay or go, but at this moment in time, the in and out thing is boring now. It's dead. He signed a 15 million a year deal in September. He's not leaving tomorrow. We've got an important summer. Berta's just walked in, right? It's all fun and games saying get rid of Havertz, sell Tomiyasu, get rid of Zini, get rid of Martinelli, do this and that. And I'm not saying you lot are wrong, but for a variety of reasons, whether these guys will actually have offers, actually want them to leave, the manager might actually like them, people might be, you throw Gabriel Jesus into it, people might be injured. For a variety of reasons, there might not be a market. Some of these guys are not going anywhere, rightly or wrongly. That's the reality of it. Like, and again, some of you can't expect us to sell 10 players and bring in 10 players and then think, oh yeah, we've got stability. Let's go. But I can't do everything. But we need you to at least do 98% of the business. So yeah, man. Yeah, man. Jason Ito, safe. Martinelli's not a thinker's man's footballer. I don't want to buy him because I've never been in that scenario, but you're not. You're better when you don't have time to think. Why do you think a lot of his highlights are on the counter-attacking transition, or some of his best games are when the games are open? It's them crazy kind of basketball matches. So you don't believe me? Go and look at Martinelli's highlights throughout the years, especially in these big games that I'm talking about. Typically, when we play Liverpool, it's an end-to-end thing. When he scored against Chelsea at the Bridge many years ago, end-to-end thing, slightly different. But Liverpool this year, Real Madrid slightly different. But this year, there's space. That's where Martinelli has to improve. Got so much time for him, though. I'm not snaking Martinelli, though, man. Kanu, Will Tord, Parler, Edu all have two things in common. They all walk into this Arsenal team. They were the bench boys when we were winning trophies. We have bench warmers in first team. Andy, I agree, man. You're putting it a lot more harsher than I do, but you're not wrong. But this is the thing with Arsenal. We keep trying to reinvent the wheel. And I don't mean this in a disingenuous way. I'm at the point where if we just want to be a team that gets to semi-finals and been doing what we've been doing, then we've got enough. If we want to cross that line, then you're bang on the money, Andy. And when I remove the emotion, let's just accept man for what they are. Obviously, if these guys that you're referring to, that I agree, like the squad players, if their form is out of this world and whatnot, then Bob's your uncle, play your games. But certain man are squad players. Like Trossard, I don't mean this in a disingenuous way, because maybe not last season or the season before, but I'm sure his first season where he joined in Jan, there was times where I thought he deserved to start more. Maybe last year, through other people's injuries, you've had that. You're not quite someone that we should be starting for 30 games. But you can help us. There might be games where, 4 or 5 games a season that you win, that separates who wins the league or not. Trossard might start that, or he might come off the bench. It's 1-1. Everything's been shit. Last kick of the ball. He comes on, does his thing. We need to just do that, if I'm honest. Trossard won't win us the league. He's a bench player. One man can't win us the league, man. I like Martinelli, but he just can't start for us anymore. He just doesn't work with our play style. And even that, Arteta, I need you to get more of a tune out of that left-hand side. And maybe Arteta knew it because, again, maybe we signed Mudryk and Mudryk's amazing. Maybe we get the same Mudryk that Chelsea have had. Probably would have been terrible because what we would have done with someone with that money on that contract with a pending drugs ban would have been crazy. But did we not try and sign? And again, Mudryk could have probably played off the right. He can play in a couple roles. But when Martinelli had that great season, yeah, when he had that great season where he got like 15 goals, that January of that season, did we not try and sign Mudryk? So being devil's advocate, regardless of Martinelli's form, maybe Arteta thought, yo, there's an upgrade to be had there. I don't know. And it's sad though, man. It's kind of sad because it's all ifs and buts. But if Gabriel Jesus was able to score all the goals we needed to on top of what he can bring, if Martinelli maintained that form, we're probably talking about squad players like up front and on the left, man. We need those who said Tavares was better than Tini to announce themselves, bro. Left back inverts, left wing gets hung up to dry a bit in the setup. Saka has overlapping wing backs. And even that, like Arteta, I still think there's stuff Arteta has to do from a coaching perspective. Obviously, a better left winger, a better striker, we're happy, but I don't think it's as simple as that. I've been saying this left wing has been put off for legit 3-4 years. It's just as important as a striker. Exactly. And obviously, I don't know, Gyökeres and Cesco, there's a reality, both flop, both are successful, but I have Gyökeres down as like you're ready to go kind of thing. Not that Cesco isn't, but you're going to probably need a bit of time. You see, if you bring Cesco, regardless, I agree with you, but if Cesco's there, then I'm even harsher on the left-hand side because I need us to somewhat, assuming Cesco needs time to get going, we have to mimic the Liverpool model. You need to have your Salah on the right-hand side, which is Saka for us. Who our Mane is, I don't know. It ain't whoever's here at the moment. Goals win games, man. The amount of run-ins on goal Martinelli makes just to be ignored is crazy. Yeah, he does get that, but being devil's advocate, your teammates. What if people could slip Martinelli in and they know he's going to fuck it up anyways? It's very worrying that Arteta is obsessed with trying to find a new world-beating Wonderkid instead of concentrating on what is needed now on the pitch to bring success. DG, this club is cursed. We're actually bottlers, in it. It's bad. We never get that bit of luck, not feeling bad for us, just accepting. You got to make your own luck in this life, luck is where preparation meets opportunity. Have we done all the preparation we've needed? I don't know. The team gravitates towards Odegaard and Saka naturally. Yeah, I say a Mudryk's band or something. Why don't you get Diaby of Saudi? He had a good season at Villa and can play off the left and right. Good for depth and is a good super sub. Are you going to, you're in Saudi. You're clearly checked out. I'm sure your family's cool. You want to give up that pay packet at this moment in time. I'm sure you return to Europe, but I don't think you want to do that. I do say things harshly. I apologize. Don't apologize because just because it's harsh don't mean it's not true. You're not effing and blinding and carrying on. Like, life is harsh. What we've seen with Arsenal, unfortunately, has been harsh. Seeing our rivals pick up trophies and everything else, the guard of honor, like all of these things, that's not as harsh as what you said. So I don't think you're wrong, man. You ain't cussed no one. You ain't made it personal. So you ain't been harsh. I know we live in a bit of a soft society, but you get the point. But having watched Arsenal lift the title 5 times in my life, this current side is a long way off. Hey, man, we're flirting with it, man, but it's a lot of foreplay. We need penetration. I like Martinelli, but he just can't start for us anymore. He just doesn't work with our play style. I hear it, man. I think if Klopp managing Martinelli, he would have developed more. Klopp likes his forwards direct and aggressive. He did describe him as the talent of the century. Lamine Camara is a decent one. Tierney worked hard. Bundesliga YouTube account just released a highlight reel for Cesco. Looks cold. I saw that and I thought immediately mind games, but we got to be careful, man. I don't mean this in a disingenuous way. Of course, we can all go and look at what Cesco's good at. Anyone can look good on YouTube. Pardon me, I don't mean this in a disingenuous way. I want to see how he is at his worst. I want to see what you're bad at. That's where you see where a player is. I would want to see the games where Leipzig were really struggling in they've had a poor season where they were struggling and whatnot. That's where you see what things are like. If I'm honest. AC Milan have Fofana. Club wanted him to replace Partey when he was at Monaco. Remember the Emirates Cup, true? Do you want to leave AC Milan anytime soon? Nick, one love, my guy. Ben Jacobs confirms Gyökeres. Oh. Let's bring that up. We're gonna go through the tabs in a bit, man. Let me get that up though, man. See what he's saying. To be fair, is Ben Jacobs even 30? Oh, so he's open to it. Is it mind games though? We'll go over that in us. We'll go over that, people. Don't worry, man. We got everything, man. We're here for a long time, man. Just cool, everybody. Just cool. Keep your thoughts in, man. Really enjoying you lot. They can't be immune to criticism. One thing I hate about football now is that one, everything's white or black. Two, there's no like nuanced conversations. And I feel we're in this because we're in this stage of hyper, I don't know, like hyper opinions. You can't criticize or you're attacking them, you hate them. You can't praise without being called an apologist. We live in it's a weird space, and I think that's shown in the media, in all aspects of the media, the papers, the Sky Sports, all them kind of platforms, YouTube, 100%. It's all vested agendas. I'm not saying anyone's right or anyone's wrong or anyone's whatever, but there's no nuance. There's no really exploring the gray areas and presenting information, and then people draw whatever conclusions. And I just feel there's too much forcing people's opinions down each other. Like I always say, I don't tell you what to think, just think. Life would be very boring if we all looked, sounded, and thought the same, wouldn't it, people? And you could argue that these managers would fail. Mikel Arteta's got several different coaches around him. Pep Guardiola's got coaches that challenge him. He's even brought in new ones, even the ex-Liverpool one. Bit snaky from that youth, but it's cool. Cesco, Marmoush scored more than Cesco in just half a season in Germany. Cesco, 13 goals in 33 games. That's Havertz, that's Marino levels. I hear it. Why didn't we get Marmoush though? Because we need them kind of man more than City. Imagine we had him. Them kind of guys is what we need. Imagine having Marmoush, Cesco / Gyökeres and Saka, and then the Havertz and the Martinellis just making up the difference in and around the team. It'd be brazy, man. It is what it is, though, man. Up the likes if you haven't already. Our skipper is on serious fraud watch next season. He's so kept to our system, and his poor season, I think, cost us 10 points. Odegaard will be back, man. Don't worry. We're accepting apologies very soon, man. Odegaard, don't let me down. Don't let me down. But yeah, if we crack on a bit, people, Arsenal have added Morgan Rogers allegedly to their list of attacking targets. However, any deal to acquire the player from Aston Villa would be costly. Can't imagine we didn't learn anything there. While Arsenal's rivals have been quick to strengthen this month, Andrea Berta likes to negotiate several deals for the same position at the same time before deciding which to activate. Arsenal's recruitment team will be a balancing act in terms of fees and ages. Berta, big up yourself for this. I'm not getting at you for that. But I do think when the media talk about Arsenal, yeah, like that sentence paragraph, they make out that that's so innovative and no one else is doing that. That is basic competencies that every Premier League or any football club should be doing. And I hear that, but we need to see people holding shirts. We need to see strikers, left wing, centre mid, goalkeepers. We'll see it. What 2 players have left now. We'll get onto it. But Marquinhos has cut. I think we covered that yesterday. What's the other one? Lokonga's cut. Hey, I'm happy Lokonga's gone. I'll never forget sitting here with you lot. Yeah, big up to you lot that were here many years ago, and we was reading his interview on Arsenal.com. Bearing in mind he is a defender, right? Obviously, if you're reading about it, like, it's like reading about a striker. You want to hear I like to score goals in this, and if they don't say that, you're thinking, oh, what's going on here? If I hear a defender, I want to hear I like to keep clean sheets. I like to do this. I like to do that. He said, I like to shoot with my right foot. Alarm bells from then. Even Arteta was like, yeah, that was the recruitment signing. He threw himself away from that. And I know I'm being a bit naive and a bit silly, but we've got left back. We had a left back that said, I like to shoot with my right foot. We once had a goalie who said, I can't concentrate. We had a striker who, again, I'm taking his words out of context, but goals are not my strong point. Like, just saying, I don't want to hear that anymore if I'm honest with you, man. So, yeah, apparently former Juventus head of scouting and Granada director Matteo Tregonozzi is currently in advanced talks to sign at Arsenal to be part of the team working under Andrea Berta. Berta's bringing this serious, guys. Serious. Apparently he's helped by a bag of players. So, yeah, Berta can't do it alone. Bring the serious guys with you, man. With a name like that, I trust you. I don't know too much about you. I might do a video for you lot. But, yeah, we hear you've helped sign some emerging stars. You've been a director at Granada. You've been head of scouting. There's some expertise that can be thrown into Berta's kind of realm. Bring other guys with you as well. And obviously, you've got Jason Ito serving his gardening leave. You lot can send him to go get coffees as you lot are up late at night, handling what needs to be handled in the next few months to make sure we have the team we need. So bring him. And I mean, they must have, big up Romano, his fellow country must have given him the drop because he was the first to expand on that. You'd imagine there'll be more news on that. Should we see if there's any other emerging details? Arsenal are not announcing that one there anytime soon. Is there anything else on that? No, it appears that that's it. I would have loved us to sign Rangers, but that's neither here nor there. Now, the Daily Mail, we're doing some Q&A thing. Ishan Khan said, Andrea Berra is said to admire Victor Gyökeres, but internally views are torn on whether he can hit the ground running in the Premier League. It's understood that Benjamin Cesco is the favoured of the two, but it's more complex. So, there's question marks over whether Gyökeres can hit the ground running, bearing in mind he scored a lot more goals. He's had he's had more experience in his playing careers. He's been at different clubs, been on loan, had some highs and lows. And he's cheaper than Gyökeres. I mean, he's cheaper than Cesco as well. That's interesting, where you've got Cesco, who for me, he's got good pace. I don't think he's exciting like that when you look at what Gyökeres is doing, but I'm a fan of his. But he seems a bit raw, and you're going to pay a lot more. Now, again, this is all whispers. Nobody knows what's actually been said, and I'm sure every journalist is adding their own little twang to it, but that's very interesting. So is it a thing where Berta rates Gyökeres, and people might rate Gyökeres, but internally they rate Cesco a lot more, bearing in mind they've probably done their groundwork for the last 2-3 years with him. Mikel Arteta is a big Kai Havertz fan, as we know, and would again use him extensively in the next campaign, as he should. He's on 300 odd grand a week. So no new signing will be there to knock Havertz out the team. It makes Cesco at just 22 ideal in terms of potential growth. Listen, whether you sign Gyökeres or you sign Cesco and him and Kai Havertz are alternating, that's cool. I'm not even going to get at Cesco. You lot, Arteta, make sure you win something because you're going to have to make it work. I think we're going to see, obviously, Havertz play up front. I actually think you're going to see a lot more of Kai Havertz in midfield next season. But who knows? We need a squad. Carrying on the theme from the Q&A, he said, I can see at least 4 deals being made this summer. The signing of Martin Zubimendi is pretty much complete. So after that, it's a striker, backup goalkeeper, and then possibly a young left winger or defender who can fill in at the back. Signing a left winger is a desire, not a certainty. What do we make of that? What do you mean by that? Signing a left winger is a desire, not a certainty. No. You need to get everything. Unless you bring me 2 strikers, then you need to bring me a striker and a left winger. Or you're going to have to hold that. Everything you lot do, you're going to have to hold that. By hook or by crook, you're going to have to bring something to the table next season. It will likely depend on the cost of the striker they sign. One option could be to sign a developing youngster. That's probably where we go. To be fair, though, the left winger market ain't really screaming nothing, really. The fact Arsenal are monitoring the situation of Dean Howson, who has signed for Real Madrid, shows that the defense is an area of interest. I've previously said I think we've got depth defensively. When everybody's fit, I do. But I also now believe we've got false depth. And what I mean by that is, yeah, we've got bodies. But when you break it down, yeah, Benjamin White, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, they've all had injuries, yeah, especially Timber because he's come back from an ACL. We need to be able to be a bit cute and clever and rest them and sub them when we can. They're going to play the majority of the season when they can. Lewis Skelly's obviously in the cut. If Lewis Skelly gets injured, we're in issues. You lot know I love Tomiyasu and his versatility. He can't be betted on because he only had 6 minutes. Tierney's cutting. Zinchenko's probably cutting. Kivior, I'd like him to stay, but if he gets an offer that he might want to go and play first team football. Calafiori, I got a lot of time for Calafiori and what he can become. He's someone that's going to pick up knocks as well. So when you break it down, we don't really have the depth. And yeah, quite rightly so. They said Howson. We tried to get Victor Rice in January, who went City. So maybe we are looking and earmarking a centre-half that can be a part of the squad. That's why I don't take too much stock when we're linked with, we ain't been linked with him for a minute, but Sporting Lisbon's Diamande or Gurhi, like them really, really expensive ones. But when Howson would have been 50 million. But when we're linked with a Howson or more so Victor Rice or Joel Hatto, who can play left back and centre half, I do think there's an element of truth there. Kivior was earmarked for an exit earlier in the campaign, through his displays in the last couple of months, deputising for the injured Gabriel Magalhaes, have given the hierarchy a rethink. I'm keeping Kivior. He's got the confidence. He's played in his natural role. I think one thing Arteta's going to learn is I have to be a bit cute and clever with trying new personnel in certain positions, resting players, doing all of that kind of stuff. But for Kivior, it's a case of, are you going to sit there and think, right, you know what? Maybe the gaffer is going to give me more game time. Maybe he understands he has to rotate. Maybe now after playing well against Real Madrid and in the running, I feel like I am an Arsenal player. I feel like I can get game time. Or what if he thinks, you know what? I've got my confidence back. I remember who I am. I actually want to go and play football. Do you argue that with, again, Arsenal are looking for centre-backs? I'm not saying it's the same, but Arsenal, sometimes we don't sell players at their heights, really and truly, if that makes sense. Look at Ainsley Maitland-Niles when we could have got 30, 40 million. Is that the case? I think Kivior is not someone we're going to force through the door, but he's someone that if he says he can go and the offers make sense, fair play. Whether the Italian teams have the money, we've seen everything from 30 to 40 to 50 to as high as 60 million for Kivior. I wouldn't sell Kivior, but if he says he wants to leave, then it is what it is. Sammy Motbell did say on Highbury Squad, Gabriel Magalhaes will sign a new contract. Some report that it's a 3-year deal. Others have said until 2030, which is essentially a 5-year deal, or at the very least a 4-year plus an option. Saliba's contract talks have been positive. The same said for Saka, which is good, but sign on the dotted line. Trossard still in extension talk. Zubimendi deal's done, paper signed. Leroy Sané links is real. Cesco deal makes the most sense, apparently, people. Going back to the Q&A of the Daily Mail, Tomiyasu and Gabriel Jesus are injured long-term and under contracts, which expire in 2026 and 27. I do think Tomiyasu has an option of another year, respectively. While injured, no club will be in the market to buy them. If Tomiyasu doesn't return from injury before Christmas and puts in some promising displays, you could expect him to leave on a free transfer next summer. With Jesus, it's more tricky. You can then visualize that the club will hope he performs well next season to increase the likelihood of getting a decent price for him in January or the summer of 2026. You know what the saddest thing is? If Jesus is able to stay fit, yeah, say what you want about Jesus. If I'm him, I'm scheming on that left wing. Because imagine, we just saw Arsenal might be a little development signing. It's not a, what did it say? It's not a necessity. It's not a certainty. It's a want, really. Jesus could grab that. Do you really think you're not better than Martinelli or Trossard? I'm not even saying he is. I'm just throwing that out there, people. And we need a squad, but he's on serious P's. Tomiyasu, I love Tomiyasu. You know, I think he's a good player, but it don't matter how good you are in your walk of life. There's no point working in a restaurant, being a great chef if you're never there to cook the food, innit? It doesn't matter. Like you got to have some attendance. Your attendance is poor, man. We need to send out some tardy letters and whatnot. Have we missed anything? No, I don't think so. Apparently, Onslaughts Liverpool are set to compete to sign Benjamin Cesco from Leipzig, with a 22-year-old the subject of a £67 million bid from Arsenal. As we saw, we have been linked with Semenyo, people, as well as Cesco, Gyökeres, obviously Zubimendi. Give Me Sport claims Arsenal are targeting a move for Anton Semenyo this summer, but are yet to make a formal approach for the Ghana international. Another one we could lose to AFCON. Man United are also said to be keen on the 25-year-old winger who is impressed for Areola's side this season. I mean, Cunha and Mbeumo, I can't see them getting Semenyo as well. He got 11 goals and 5 assists in 37 appearances for Bournemouth last season. Apparently, they want 50 million. I don't know about that one there. I don't know about that, man. I think Semenyo is a talent and would improve Arsenal's squad, but I'm not sure he's the answer at this moment in time. The Gunners might have a restricted transfer budget. What? See, it always goes from the war chest to this restricted thing, which, to be fair, is all essentially guesswork, and only able to make a couple of big money additions, and Semenyo isn't one I would make. First, Arsenal must splash the cash on the centre forward. That is for certain. Once that is done, the Gunners need to prioritise signing another attacking midfielder to help support Martin Odegaard. Then, if they have money to spend, a recognised left winger would be preferred. I think you need a left winger more than you need that for Odegaard, but they're all of equal importance, man. There's no other priorities. As some of you have been saying, people, Man United in contact to sign Gyökeres despite Arsenal agreement. According to Give Me Sport, Man United have now made contact to find out if a deal for Gyökeres will be possible this summer. Amarin previously worked with Gyökeres at Sporting, and he certainly knows how to get the best out of the Sweden international. Arsenal should be on alert. Fair enough. If they get him, they get him. And again, Gyökeres is open to a move to United even without Champions League football. I mean, it's Manchester United. Sporting wants 60 million, people, which is a 25 million reduction from his asking price. He's got a verbal agreement in place with Sporting, and we've spoken about this guy forever, man. And United are also linked with Mitrovic, so maybe they go over there. I don't know, man. At this point, there's a lot of whispers. I think we're all jealous of them kind of signings, if I'm honest. Have we missed anything? Again, you can't help but be jealous of Rangers signing for City. We ain't got no one yet. Delapa signed for Chelsea. United have made a bid for Mbeumo, and apparently talks are going quite positive. I'd love us to sign him. Liverpool rejected Barcelona's approach over Diaz. I wonder if Barca go for Martinelli, which they've been linked with. Is there anything new here as well? I mean, we're getting some new staff member and all these kind of things. It's nice to be in advanced talks. We've gone over Morgan Rogers. We've also, who's this? Who the hell is this? Is that Paxal guy? Arsenal add Morgan Rogers to the list of attacking targets. Any deal to acquire the versatile England midfielder from Aston Villa would be costly, while Igor Passau is an alternative to Nico Williams and Leroy Sané. As long as they bang, who cares, man? As long as they bang, it's almost certain they'll splurge big on a striker before looking to spend on other positions. Fair enough. Another incoming midfielder is highly unlikely to happen. Arteta has made his stance very clear in recent weeks, saying he wants Partey to extend his contract. Partey wants to stay, and the reports linking him to Barcelona are speculative. Fair play. We've gone over the Zubamendi stuff. We know we want a backup goalkeeper for David Raya. Fair enough. Where's the? I feel like I'm missing something else out. We've been linked with this guy. Where is it? Let's see this. To be fair, if this is the lad that was at Gen, I don't buy it because they're saying Arsenal are going to spend 45 million euros on this 17-year-old and loan him back. Have we got the cash to be doing that? I know we spent money on Saliba once upon a time and loaned him back, but really, for what it's worth, the Greek international, I'm not no religious viewer of him, but he looks, it's based on what he's done in Belgium previously. He's quality, man. Apparently, Arsenal are in talks to sign highly rated Gent midfielder Konstantinos Kouras in a deal that could rise to $51 million, 45 million euros. He's quality, man. Bayern Munich have been on his case. The 17-year-old, widely regarded as one of the brightest young talents in European football, has been on the radar of several elite clubs for several months. His standout performances in the Belgian Jupiler Pro League have drawn attention across the continent, but it was his composed display for Greece in their 3-0 win over Scotland in Glasgow early this year that significantly boosted his stock. Andrea Berra has been instrumental in progressing talks and already enjoyed a strong working relationship with Karasas' agent, the same rep who oversaw Albert Sambi Lokonga's move to Arsenal in 2021. Apparently, Arsenal are looking to complete this deal in the summer, but allow Karasas to remain on loan at Gent. So it all depends, I guess, on how the fee's being teed up, man. The Gunners believe that continued first-team football in Belgium will aid the midfielder's development and ensure he arrives in London ready to compete at the highest level by the summer of 2026. Fair enough. He's drawn comparisons to Cesc Fabregas. I think he's got a good final ball, very good balance, very good close control. Beyond that, you'd have to ask someone that knows him a lot more than myself, people. Also, let's not forget our second departure. To be fair, Arsenal haven't said it. I've seen it in the Evening Standard, and I've seen Romano say that we've let Marquinhos go. So I haven't seen Arsenal.com say it, but Nuno Tavares has joined Lazio on a permanent deal. People, we wish you all the best. Big up you for this Man United performance. But yeah, safe. Did they? I actually want to see, man. My ADHD is not going to allow me to thingy, man. So yeah, we actually have not announced Marquinhos departing. Fair enough. We all know we've confirmed who's leaving on the free. Teeny, we're gonna miss you, my brother. Gonna miss the Flying Scotsman, man. Gonna miss you, man. It is what it is. What's this? Arsenal squad audit. Every player's future explained going into the summer. At Arsenal this summer, most of the focus will be on incoming business, but they'll need to get their existing players in order to mount another title charge. We know that. This is our squad depth. We know Raya's staying. We know Neto's cutting. Tommy Setford, for me, you could be third choice. I'd like to get 2 experienced goalies in. I wouldn't even be against keeping Neto as third choice because you're very unlikely to play. Just stay and be part of it. Tommy Setford, go and play some first team football. If I'm honest with you, man, go on loan. We're not gonna get Garcia. Kyle Hine, you need to cut. If I'm honest, but you could be second or third choice. Well, third choice, hopefully. Ben White is staying. Timber is staying. Probably going to get renewed contract soon. Tommy Asu's playing for his future. If I'm honest, contracted until 2026. Boy, Saliba, we need to give you a new deal. That goes without saying. Kivior, want you to stay, but if you want to go, fair play. Gabriel Magalhaes, you need a new deal. 49. Lewis Kelly needs a new deal. 39 first-team appearances. Give him his new deal. Calafiori, stay fit for me. Zinni, I wouldn't be against you staying and just hanging around like a spare part for the squad, but it's for the best that you probably depart. People, we ain't got 100 likes, man. You lot are playing games. Mods, get onto them, please. Zinni, you can cut. Tini's going anyways. Tavares is gone. Odegaard, we need more from you, this year. Rice, mustard, mate. Marino, keep going, my guy. Contractually, next summer, maybe Arsenal's best chance to move Marino on for a considerable fee, but his experience could be beneficial. We're not selling him. Partey, need to sign a new deal. Wanyeri, new deal. Farewell, Jorginho. Lokonga, you need to go tomorrow. Apparently, his preference is to stay in Spain. Fabio Vieira, I don't know. You might be one that just stays at... I feel you and Nelson, one of you might just still be here in the summer. But it does feel the writing was on the wall for Fabio Vieira when Ranieri was starting ahead of him last pre-season. Returning to boyhood club Porto on loan, he made 39 appearances, scoring 5 and assisting another 5 goals. This summer, finding a buying club for Fabio Vieira should be on Arsenal's agenda. And you never know, the right move, you might get into the Portugal squad. Saka needs a new deal. Kai, you're staying, big you up. Jesus, boy, it is what it is. You are injured. It looks like Trossard might get a new deal, but every rumor is a bit conflicting. Martinelli apparently is contracted until 2027 and has an option of another year. But yeah, we need to see more from you. Nelson, you're nursing an injury, but again, need to look for a permanent sell. Raheem Sterling, it's a myth. Marquinhos joined Carrizo on loan. The Brazilian club had an option to buy and are now advancing towards making that move permanent. So yeah, bye-bye, my friend. Are we exaggerating our need for goals, though, once this loads, people? Being devil's advocate, Arsenal were the only side to have 6 different players with 10-plus goals and assists in the Premier League in 2024-25. That is Saka, Trossard, Kai Havertz, Martinelli, Odegaard and Rice sharing the load. Why? Do we really need one? Surely, man. Ademola Lookman. Hansi Flick apparently is suggesting him to Barcelona. His price could be around 60 million euros. What's that? About 50 and some change. But sources say he could be sold for around 30 million euros. So what's that? 20 something? I'm on that. Especially for 30 euros, 30 million euros. I'm on that. We've gone over this already. Arsenal hijack and Buemo claims, really, it's done, bro. Like, it's done. He's going to United. I would love to be wrong. We have been linked with Julian Alvarez. Apparently, his agent has said he likes Barcelona. He admires the Spanish clubs. He's been following Lionel Messi in Barcelona since he's a kid, but he is happy at Atletico Madrid. Pardon me, is there anything new here in relation to Arsenal? Lie to us, man. Arsenal set trap for Man United. It's probably about Buemo. Probably some foolishness. Mikel Arteta had an unwitting hand in forcing Manchester United into the worst transfer deal of the history of Old Trafford side, according to a sensational report. Well, Ten Hag didn't want Anthony. So what's this got to do with Arsenal, bro? Forget all of that, man. It's just nonsense and whispers. What's this? Arsenal and trying to sign the next Lionel Messi. This is about the same you. So no, it's not. It's about that Wolfmate guy. We've previously covered him in a previous vid. You would have seen yesterday, Manchester City and Barcelona have expressed an interest in Arsenal's 15-year-old midfield prospect, Max Dowman. If you had small hope for us signing Victor Osimhen, he's now Al Hilal's top target ahead of the Club World Cup. They're prepared to pay 75 million euros clause and have offered him around 30 million euros per season, but want an answer before the June 10th window shuts. Leroy Sané, who's still being linked with us once this loads, is still rejecting Bayern Munich's contract offer. However, from Bayern's perspective, the door remains open. Companies in particular value Sané's qualities and would like to keep him in any case. One of the current wingers would have to leave for a new star signing to be brought in. Kingsley Coleman's cutting, apparently. Sané's future is subject to speculation. And apparently they've told Gnabry you're free to stay. So it'd be interesting. Tini turns 28 today. Farewell, my guy, man. We're going to miss you, my dude. Chelsea, again, if we assume like we saw that Cesco is really linked with Liverpool and potentially picks them and Gyökeres goes United, where does that leave us? It apparently becomes clear that Chelsea are currently working to sign Hugo Ekitike. Frankfurt won 100 million euros. So that would have been Liam Delap and Hugo, 2 players who were linked with us. You have previously heard the Athletic say we've held talks over Sané. We're admirers of Rodrigo, but the numbers associated with any hypothetical deal makes it challenging. We like Nico Williams and apparently we like Newcastle's Anthony Gordon, but it's going to cost a lot of money. Bilbao have apparently began to initiate talks over a potential new contract for Nico Williams. Thomas Partey is in ongoing discussions, as is Michael Rosiak and Chloe Kelly. Arsenal.com confirmed that. Although Victor Gyökeres and Benjamin Sesko appear foremost in Arsenal's thoughts, there's also other names under consideration. Ollie Watkins has not been discounted entirely, although the club would have the same reservations on the price. Again, for all the noise about Zubimendi, apparently it's effectively agreed pending a medical. It won't be confirmed until July, as Real Sociedad have expressed this preference due to accounting purposes, says Gunner Blog, aka the Athletic, folks. And that is everything, people, really. Like, spare thought for Chelsea, you got to find a way to flog Raheem Sterling. So that appears to be everything in the current news, man. Is where Nelly did try against PSG, but Odegaard left his distance glasses. That they read that between 2010 and 2020, KSC have invested 15 mil of their own money into the club. That's abysmal. but he was getting chances and making run. I'm not sure what you lot are referring to. Arsenal remind me of someone carefully preparing a shopping list only to spend all their time in the reduced section monitoring the staff labeling the reduced price. Damn. I heard we approached about Sane, not us approaching him, so I don't see that ever coming to fruition. Yeah, probably. Hey, Gal, one love for the raid, Killy. Appreciate you, my guy. Didn't you just go live? Man said Bangladesh raid. You're moving, man. Shout out Bangladesh regardless, man. Lookman is a good fit for Arsenal. He's cheaper. Someone tell me how we went to Porto and got Fabio Vieira instead of Vitayo. So close, but so far. Sell Fabio San Xavi. Boy, it'd be nice. Tomiyasu, good training defender. He just needs to stay fit. Where's Tomiyasu? I heard he's in Enfield. Silly. Arsenal should go for Lookman cheaper and produce his goals. I get that, but why isn't this deal an expenditure secondary to a striker and winger deal? Don't care about the links or names. We've drawn too many games. Arteta needs to let the dogs off the lead and throw the frisbee next season. I hear it. DG, honestly, we are so effed for next season. Just watch the gal and he's even seeing the light. Big up your gal, man. Your gal's my guy, man. But yeah, even the gal's not as happy as he normally is, man. The club have got to get everyone on side, man. No idea with Fabio. I don't know for Fabio, man. If we get Semenyo, I might start watching. But if you can survive Willian and these kind of guys, you can survive anything, man. Oh my God, I'm 5 minutes back, left wing a desire. Yeah, man, we're finished. Bro, it can't be a desire. Like, it can't. Again, for me, I'm no transfer man or whatever. But in previous years, Arsenal fans, we might know we need to sign a defensive mid and a cam, but we know we're only getting one. And depending on what you feel, you're going to go with whichever one you feel, going back to the hour and party summer. And I know we're not going to do everything and serve one, but it's gone beyond that now. You need to do everything. You need a winger, you need a striker, you need a centre mid. Everything needs to be done. Everything. And especially in the attacking realm. And if it's not, I don't want to hear nothing. No matter how the games pan out, I don't want to hear nothing. Just make sure you get over the line. That run of games from Kivior was enough for me to say he can stay. We didn't miss Gabby much. In fact, it was Saliba the more shaky of the two. Yep. I think it comes down to Kivior, man, because Kivior's got a sweet gig. At this moment in time, you're not going to play at a club bigger than Arsenal. Fair enough, you link with Inter and AC. If he wants to stay calm, but the club might let him go. He might want to go. And actually, when you remove obviously the football's all that matters. But for all the players linked with moves away, yeah, it feels like, and I don't know because paper talk's not the same, but it feels like Kivior's actually got a market. Like, their links with Italy have never gone away. Poro cleared White this season. 100% DG. 2 strikers or a left winger and striker at least this window. I don't want to hear nothing from the club if you don't do it. I don't want to hear nothing. The only question mark should be over how is Cesco seen as better suit for the Prem. That's ridiculous justification. I think Verta is being pushed to Cesco against his beliefs. To be fair, man, the Zubamendi and the Cesco ones, it feels like that was, well, it ain't happened, but it feels like they're things that were always going to happen regardless. Havertz sticking with Havertz proves this guy ain't serious about improving the team. Oh, you mean Arteta? DG, any idea why we are shit at selling players? Example, Ramsdale, who just got relegated, is about to be sold for more than what we sold him for to West Ham. Honestly, I don't have a clue. I just hope Berta can change that, man. It is frustrating. It is frustrating. I wish I had an answer for you, but I don't, man. If Cesco wants Liverpool and Yoko wants Man United, then let them go. Them concentrate over players will always be the Arsenal. It's true, but we have to find the targets, man. DG, the truth is, I believe Arsenal need to make the attack as fluid as possible. It can't just be about names. The profile picks are so important this summer. Fluid attack will scare teams genuinely. It'd be nice, man. It'd be nice to have another threat on the left-hand side because obviously there's only 11 players out there. And typically you see Saka, anything from 2 to 4 players locking him down. What if there's someone, quote unquote, as dangerous or somewhat dangerous as Saka? Teams have to factor that in. And you can't have 2-3 players marking Saka, 2-3 players marking that guy. Or you can, but you're gonna find it harder to score in our net. And there might be, the Declan Rices who's playing in that 8 players that aren't going to be picked up to goals through. Cesco's vertical alone, we can't ignore that. You're going to have to explain that to me, my boy. That's too woke for me, man. That's too woke for me. Arteta does need to allow some attacking freedom, man. We have to wait and see what we can get before pre-season. Stressing now is futile. I believe we'll get it right. I hope we do, man. Can't be immune to criticism, man. Boy, it's dark, isn't it, really? Paying 90 million for 13 goals next Heisland. Like talking about jump. Oh. Big him up for the jumping thing. Aaron, my guy. Big up. I like Cesco. Big him up for jumping. But bro, I need to see you scoring goals because like, hey, jump as high as you want. But come on, man. You know he's gonna be a treat at defending set pieces, though. Cesco is just because Arsenal love mediocrity. I think Cesco's going to surprise a lot of people. Just so people don't misunderstand me, it's a Gyökeres thing. Arteta's got too much power in terms of transfers. He's a rookie, but thinks he's better than experienced directors. Speaking of Marmoush, it makes me miss the likes of Rosicky, Wilshere, Ox, Ramsey, Santi, Ozil, Sanchez, all personality players like a Swiss Army knife. Can you really throw Oxlade-Chamberlain in there? Big up Ox, but I don't know. One love, Aaron. Make sure you're subscribing to Aaron Talks Arsenal, man. The guy's always streaming. My guy. Not going to lie, with the way City and Liverpool are moving, we'll need some major signings to compete with them next season. Come on, Berta. But if our two main striker targets go to other clubs, but we can sit, cry, bitch about it, go and get me another striker, because these are things that can happen. Inter are cooked, count them out. This time next year, FC. Kiviel's the only solid backup right now. 295 in here, minimum 120 likes. Smash the likes, so unexpected high bills. Manny, tell them again. Foxy, one love. Atalanta should sell Lookman. The fee will never be so high after this summer. To be fair, probably should have sold him last summer, because is he not in the final year of his deal? Oh, depends, man. Maybe he wants to stay because Gasperini, ain't Gasperini going Roma, and we all know the little bust up they had. We survived lockdown, Arsenal. We can survive this, but it hurts to be so close yet so far. If our guy loses hope, I'm definitely going to have to learn the rules of cricket or rugby. If you sign Sane, you're cooked. Lookman actually very consistent, but not nice on the eye. We'll never win with these owners on board. Liverpool waste money on Nunes and to a degree Szoboszlai, and they go by Gakpo and now Wirtz. We waste money on Pepe and refuse to take the risk on the forward again. Fair play. God does love a trier, man. But God also loves people that help themselves and learn from mistakes. Or you're going to keep being replayed the same lesson. To be honest, even looking at our team, if we didn't have Saliba, Saka, Rice, we'd be similar to what we had 6 years ago in quality. So Arteta really didn't raise ish. But pardon me, if we sold Fabio Vieira and Lokonga and brought Eze and RODGERS as replacements, I'll buy all the merch. I'm sick of this scrimping and taking months to ultimately end up with shite signings. Boy. It's dark, man. It's dark. I'm a Liverpool fan, but it's nice to hear Arsenal opinions from a normal human instead of the delusional usual. Appreciate that, man. There's a lot of us normal ones out there, man. You know, just don't get the limelight because we're not screaming, shouting, foaming at the mouth, or we're not sucking Arteta off. Like, just trying to be honest. That's how it goes, man. But, you know, there's something for everyone out there. Knowing Arteta will get Jackson on loan, then they're going to have to hold that. Just make sure you get over the line. But we're sold the Isaac pipe dream. Anyone who still thinks we're getting Isaac, you're going mad. So you know what? Giroud walks into our team. When Arteta says jump, Cesco says how high. This ain't high jump, bro. Bro, you can jump as high as he wants. Just make sure you can use your 2 feet them and score goals when we need you to score goals. And if you can't, I'm past the point of getting at players now. Obviously, the players have to hold blame, but bro, there's a common denominator. Contradictory to the name, DG. You know what? Sometimes it depends, man, because sometimes you get the name's spot on, you really are deluded. Then you get you're not so deluded. Why is that your name? Then every now and again you get what's the other one? Oh my god, like the only deluded Arsenal fan that calls himself deluded. If Mudryk bust case, that's your left wing signing. But it's not Edu, bro. Don't even get me started on Pepe. It's a parting gift from Emery. It's one of the toughest times on YouTube for me because I said we shouldn't have got Pepe. Like, I watch French football, but that's when I was more aggressive with watching French football. I said he's a good player, but he's had a hot 18 months. And I genuinely couldn't believe we spent, 70, 80, whatever it was on him. We got fleeced. That, when I was saying Emery weren't the guy when we went on that unbeaten run purely because, like, I thought I was crazy. Because, like, you know, that's when I clocked. People only care about the good, the bad, and the ugly and having a balanced discussion when we're actually in the shit. Because nobody cared. Nobody cared. We were stinking up the place. Even me, I fell for it. I used to always say, oh, yeah, Emery, he changes things at halftime. And then the light bulb went off in my head. Word to Arteta, like, raw, like, if you're always having to change things in the second half, obviously there are games where you're gonna have to do that. But if you're always having to do that, are we setting up in the best possible way? I don't know. So it's dark, man. It's dark, man. Want some signings, man. Yeah, man. Pepe's decision making off the pitch horrible. Does it concern you that your recruitment team, you had many departures and still not got it right? Diamond Eyes, Raul, Edu. Yeah and no, because I think we've got to a decent part now, but it's just about signing the quality now. I think we've done so much now. It's just we need to stop trying to reinvent the wheel. If I'm honest, Raul Sanye didn't work, Mislintat didn't work, but we're kind of past that now. So yeah, man. The only thing I just didn't want Edu and Arteta. I've said that before. Like, I'm not a fan of having Arteta learning on the job, Edu learning on the job, young players learning on the job. I think you needed what we kind of have now with Berta, like whether it works or not, your experience, cool, you're learning, keep it moving. Pepe was 27 million over three, doesn't sound as bad as 72 straight up. Imagine we got Zaha, should have got Zaha, to be fair. Diamond Eyes was a fraud. And there might be, you know what? Diamond Eyes, missing tap might just be a shit person. Because he keeps, if you deep it, he had a little bust up at Dortmund, ×2, because he went back over there, yeah. And then obviously he went Stuttgart. He's always falling out with people. Like, you might be great at your job, but you just might be a shit person. And that's the thing. You have too many people learning on the job. You can't have both. United have signed expensive players every season for so long as I can remember, and they're one of the worst teams in the country. Arsenal turning into job centre with the amount of people learning on the job. Fucking hell. Fucking hell. If United get Gyökeres and Mbeumo, I think they'll be back in Europe next season. What phase will that be? You have to talk to our dad. I don't worry about phases and processes no more, bro. Over the line settings. You ain't deluded. You see both sides. Have to as a content creator, or you'll piss one half of the fan base. Fans are so divided this transfer window. It's mad. And I hear that, but that's just how I naturally am as a person. Like, yeah, man. That's how I've always been. DG, you see the links for the Andrea Berta getting Matteo to in the nosy. I can't lie, I'm doing a quick research. He looks like a good style. I did cover that. It does look good. And again, I don't know when it was all timed, but why couldn't this have been teed up when Berta first walked in March? Because now obviously Berta is still learning. Again, it's in maybe it's for it to come out. Maybe it's it's a lot more advanced than we believe. But assuming my man comes through the door tomorrow, he's now jumping at the deep end, having to get to it, rather than we're going into this summer knowing exactly what we need to do. But you can't have too many experienced people. He looks serious. His CV looks good. Can't have too many decent people, don't it? Zaha's solid career, but he never reached his full potential. I think in hindsight, yeah, there's two. I mean, you can never turn down signing for Man United as a footballer. It's a massive club, especially for English players, but potentially made that move too early. I think that's one thing. And I actually think, you see, when he went back to Palace, I think they priced him. I think they priced him out of a move for too many years. Even back to when we tried to sign him, I think he was there too long, if I'm honest. I don't think you'll see many. Berta will have loans with obligations / options. The wage bill on the fringe players makes them difficult to shift. But Havertz is mediocre. No way you guys can brainwash me about how he opens up space and all. Squad player, man. We're at where we're at with Kai. Shouldn't have bought him, but I don't think he's terrible. Is he the most sexy player on the ball? Nope. Do I think Arteta should have this love fest he has? Nope. But there is a role for you. It shouldn't be a first team starting every week. And that's what I'm saying. If that's what you want to do, Arteta, okay, I can have my thoughts. I'm just an armchair expert. You are a UEFA licensed coach. Make sure we get silverware next season, my boy. If we don't get Glock 9, I don't want to see him in the Prem, or man will crash out. I don't care if it's United or Brighton. DG, this coming season is going to be hella toxic. Imagine the first loss we face. If it's in the first 10 games, it's about to go mad. It is what it is, man. It is what it is, man. But it is what it is, man. I like Dele Alli so much, wasted potential. Love for the super chat. I feel sorry for Dele because obviously he's gone through a lot. Potential is one thing, but from a human point of view, like, you've gone through a lot mentally, innit? Like, you just want to see somebody win, if that makes sense. And where is he? Is he still at Como? I hope he's still in football in some capacity, if that is the case, man. But I'm sure you lot are bored of hearing me now, man. I've been here for an hour and 25 minutes. Obviously, I was here with a gal earlier. Big him up on the raid and big up yourselves. There's always videos coming out. I'll cut up the transfer clip part of this. So, yeah, make sure your notification bells are on. Thank you for your super chats, your engagement, all that stuff, man. Without you lot, the platform's dead. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't. One love to you lot who have, people. We're trying to get 70K for the end of the year. On that note, Berta, shout me. I know a good inverted left back.
Yeah, against this right back, Charlie's definitely.
Like